I froze when my phone buzzed again. Another doorbell camera alert lighting up the screen like a warning flare. My stomach sank before I even looked. Another package was gone. I opened the footage, expecting maybe a delivery glitch, a courier mix-up, something ordinary. But no, there she was again. Sophia Wilson, the self-proclaimed queen of Maplewood Estates, marching up my porch in her signature pink blazer like she owned the whole neighborhood. She didn't even hesitate. She looked around once, flashed that smug little smirk of hers, scooped up my box, and strutted off like she was doing me a favor. That was the fourth time this month. My daughter's Christmas gift, my medication, my tools for work, all vanished, all thanks to the queen of the HOA. But this time, I wasn't just angry. I was done. Sophia thought her HOA title made her untouchable, that she could write the rules, bend them, and rewrite them again to suit her mood. She had no idea that the man she was stealing from built things for a living, including his own version of justice. Before we get into how I turned the tables on Sophia, I'll tell you how it all started. The quiet before the storm. 6 months after my divorce, I moved into Maplewood Estates. I wanted peace, quiet mornings, neat lawns, friendly waves, maybe a barbecue or two with neighbors who actually smiled when they saw you. It looked perfect. Picket fences, well-trimmed hedges, and the kind of silence that makes you believe the world is still kind. For a while it was. My daughter and I settled in. I'd drink coffee on the porch while the old man across the street, George, watered his azaleas. Mrs. Chen next door always waved from her garden. It was the kind of normal I thought I'd lost. Then the packages started vanishing. At first, I blamed the courier. Maybe they dropped it off at the wrong house. Maybe someone made an honest mistake. But when my daughter's birthday gift, a knitted scarf she'd picked herself, disappeared, and the replacement vanished too, I knew something was wrong. When my prescription meds didn't show up, I stopped pretending it was random. That's when I bought the doorbell camera. Just a small, ugly rectangle with a lens that promised truth. I installed it on a Saturday morning, told myself it was just for peace of mind, and went about my day. When the first alert came through, I was halfway through dinner. I opened the footage, and there it was. My peace of mind shattered in HD clarity. Sophia Wilson, HOA president, neighborhood royalty, thief. She didn't sneak. She didn't rush. She walked up my porch like she was inspecting it, scooped up my box like she was entitled to it, and walked off with a smirk that could have melted steel. The pattern. At first, I couldn't believe it. Sophia was the one who organized the HOA barbecues, signed the permits, and lectured us about community integrity. Seeing her take my things felt like watching a cop rob a bank. So I rewatched it 8 times. Each time I hit play, my disbelief turned to anger, then to something colder, calculation. I started checking timestamps, comparing delivery schedules, looking for a pattern. And there it was, every time, between 10 and 11 a.m., right when I was gone for work. She always picked medium-sized boxes, the kind that looked tempting, something valuable but not so large it'd draw attention. I showed the footage to George. He was a retired cop who rented across the street. He watched the clip in silence, eyes narrowing. "Well," I said, "that's her, right?" He sighed. "That's her. But John, she's powerful around here. HOA president. You go after her, you'd better be ready for a fight." "I don't want a fight," I said. "I want my stuff back." He nodded slowly. "Then you'd better be smart about it." The neighborhood web next. I talked to Mrs. Chen. Sweetest woman alive, almost 90, still growing lavender in her yard. When I told her what happened, her face fell. "Oh dear," she said. "That happened to me too. My grandson's birthday gift disappeared last month." She showed me a text. She'd asked Sophia if she'd seen the missing package. Sophia's response? "We're working to keep the neighborhood safe. If you think your package was lost, please file a report." File a report. Right. So I did. The desk sergeant listened patiently, took notes, and gave me a polite, practiced shrug. "We can't prove intent without more evidence," he said. "If other residents come forward, we can reopen the investigation." I left with a report number that meant nothing and a burning sense of helplessness. Retaliation. When the police visit didn't rattle her, Sophia doubled down. The next day, I found a yellow HOA violation notice pinned to my door. Mailbox finish not compliant with community standards. 2 days later, grass exceeds height limit. Then, trash bin visible past collection hours. Each one signed, elegantly, by Sophia Wilson. She was mocking me, saying, "I run this place." You don't. When I tried to speak up at the next HOA meeting, the room was full of her loyalists, nodding at every word she said. I presented my footage, calm but direct. "You were in my driveway, Sophia. You took my packages." She smiled sweetly for the crowd. "Mr. Davis, I was collecting misdelivered parcels for community safety. Perhaps you misunderstood what you saw." Laughter rippled through the room. I could feel my face heat up. That night, the neighborhood Facebook group exploded. A blurry photo of Sophia in her pink blazer, walking away from someone's porch. "This looks familiar," one comment said. "My stuff's gone too," another replied. But within hours, the post vanished. Sophia was an admin. That's when I realized she wasn't just stealing packages. She was stealing everyone's silence. The plan. If the system wouldn't stop her, I would. I kept logs. Dates, times, items missing. I talked quietly with neighbors. George, Mrs. Chen, a few others. I left decoy boxes on my porch, clearly labeled, "Property of John Davis, do not touch." Inside? Die packs, rigged to explode bright blue if moved more than a few inches. Then I waited. 3 days later, I got the alert. Doorbell cam. Motion detected. Sophia in her pink blazer, strutting right up to my porch. She glanced around, grabbed the box, and pop. A blue cloud burst in her face and all over her clothes. She shrieked, dropped the box, and bolted down the street. I laughed so hard I cried. The footage went straight to the police, and this time, I didn't just file a report. I uploaded it to the neighborhood Facebook group before Sophia could delete it. It spread like wildfire. Comments poured in. Finally. Karma looks good in blue. About time someone caught her. By the end of the day, Sophia had deleted her profile. 2 days later, the police showed up at her door. Again. This time, she couldn't explain away the dye stains on her porch, her clothes, or the stack of unreturned packages in her garage. The fallout. Sophia was forced to step down as HOA president for health reasons. The official line was that she needed to focus on her family. Yeah, right. When her SUV disappeared from the neighborhood a week later, nobody waved goodbye. The new HOA board reversed my violations. George even helped me repaint my mailbox, the same color as before, just because we could. Mrs. Chen brought over lavender tea and smiled. "Good people win in the end," she said softly. "Maybe not always, but this time we did." The lesson. I didn't move to Maplewood Estates to fight anyone. I moved here to rebuild my life. And maybe, in a way, I did. Just not how I expected. Because peace isn't about avoiding conflict. Sometimes it's about standing up when someone tries to take what's yours, even if they're wearing a pink blazer and a fake smile. Sophia Wilson thought she owned Maplewood Estates. But the truth? No one owns peace. You build it yourself. And if someone tries to steal it, well, I've got plenty more dye packs.